All right, this is a Fox News alert. We begin tonight with what is a massive, huge mystery out of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., that is literally, as we speak, reaching a fever pitch. Now, just who is the hearsay non-whistleblower, whistleblower? Now, tonight, real clear, investigations. Paul Sperry, he is reporting the details of this person's identity. Let me be up front and be very, very clear. Line of demarcation. There are things tonight that are so scary that we can report. We will identify them. We cannot independently confirm Sperry's report. We will not go with the name of the identified person unless we have final confirmation. I can confirm to you, after making numerous calls in the last hour, this is the individual that has been most talked about in Washington as the whistleblower. And if Sperry is correct, if he turns out to be correct in what he is reporting tonight, we are looking at a scandal of monumental proportion in this country. One way or the other, what we're watching is this speeding up process of this impeachment witch hunt. With what we know, I can tell you tonight, we cannot continue until questions are answered. Republicans tonight must now demand answers before anything moves forward. They must demand to know if, in fact, the whistleblower was a deep state operative. They need to demand to know now. We do know there was contact with the corrupt and cowardly and compromised congenital liar Adam Schiff's office. We need to know what that contact is, every bit of that contact. We need to demand to know if this person, in fact, whoever the non-whistleblower, hearsay whistleblower is, did they abuse their power, their position at the Central Intelligence Agency? We need to know now if, in fact, this person was working on a major political agenda supporting a Democratic candidate, because we know there was the support of a candidate from the IG, which we'll get to. We need to demand to know tonight the relationship and the contact with his former boss, and that would be Brennan. Yeah, his name comes up a lot, doesn't it? The whole thing, what we know, stinks to high heaven. We need to know if the tools of our intelligence community were once again weaponized and turned against the President of the United States of America. We need to know if high-ranking Obama officials were yet again involved in an effort to overturn the will of the people, an election. Now, we cannot, and I want to be clear, confirm Real Clear's report. But what is already being reported is chilling. We need answers, and we need them like yesterday. We need to know the identity of this non-whistleblower, hearsay whistleblower. We need to know if they have an agenda. We need to know if the intel community's inspector general, when he said this hearsay whistleblower favored a political candidate that was a Democrat. What candidate? Was there any contact? We know there was contact with Adam Schiff's office. That makes him a fact witness. That makes him a compromised chairman. He is in no position to lead any effort to impeach anybody except himself. He needs to be investigated. Now, we know that a town that loves to leak has been remarkably quiet on the whistleblower's identity. We know he was mentioned on the floor of the House. We know he was mentioned in these secret Soviet-style impeachment coup hearings. We know that everyone in the media, I can speak from people I know, people at Fake News CNN, at the Area 51, Roswell Rachel Maddow Conspiracy Channel, MSDNC, they know this person's name. It is now clear we need to get to the truth. In other words, we the people, need to know before anything else moves forward. Now, it makes you wonder, why did they want to rush something as important as impeachment? Why no due process for the president? Who is the person that started this entire Ukrainian, what we now know to be a real witch hunt? Because we do know the interpretation that we were given by the corrupt, compromised, cowardly, and congenital liar Adam Schiff was wrong. It was false. We were told that the non-whistleblower, hearsay whistleblower, said quid pro quos took place. But we have the transcript. That transcript exonerates President Trump completely. That transcript revealed these claims were false by, yes, the compromised, corrupt, congenital liar. So we need to know whether this person had, in fact, a political agenda, whether there was collusion with Schiff's office, whether there was collusion with the Democratic presidential candidate they supported. We need to know who that person was friends with. We need to know what contact he had with John Brennan. In other words, we know Brennan, well, he hates Donald Trump, and he's a former CIA director, has a lot of power probably, and a lot of deep state friends still working there. And what about Susan Rice? Her name is mentioned in Sperry's article. What about a relationship with Adam Schiff? Where and when did he meet with people in Schiff's office? What was said? Did Schiff's office recommend hiring a lawyer? Was it a specific lawyer? Did they recommend going to the IG? Did that recommendation come from the compromised, corrupt Schiff's office? Now, we know Schiff lied about the whistleblower. We know he lied for 3 years about Russia. Here's what he said when he lied about knowing the whistleblower.
We have not spoken directly with the whistleblower. We would like to, but I'm sure the whistleblower has concerns that he has not been advised, as the law requires, by the Inspector General or the Director of National Intelligence, just as to how he is to communicate with Congress.
That was another lie by the compromised, corrupt, congenital liar, Adam Schiff. Tonight we need answers. Republicans, it is now time for you to stand up for due process, for the Constitution of the United States, for the rule of law, for equal application of our laws, and, yeah, application as well. That would work. Now, you've got to do your jobs. We need, as a country, to get to the bottom of this. Impeachment is a really, really important issue for the American people, because what is being reported by Real Clear Investigations on top of what we already know, it is shocking. If it turns out that Paul Sperry and Real Clear Investigations is right, it would represent another confirmed coup attempt. And according to the report, again, this is what they're reporting, we have not confirmed, he would be an Obama holdover, work with Joe Biden, John Brennan, and has close ties to Schiff and his team. In fact, Sperry reports that the individual was a former colleague to members of Schiff's congressional staff. And that's not all. They are reporting, we have not confirmed, that he had ties to the DNC operative who helped the Clinton campaign coordinate with the country Ukraine. That's how deep Sperry's allegations go. The media needs to get off their backsides and now begin to do their job and seek truth. Remember the Politico report, January 11, 2017, that we frequently reference. DNC operative who colluded with Ukraine, yes, to bolster the Clinton campaign. And a Ukrainian court confirming Ukraine did, in fact, coordinate with the DNC, and they colluded to help Hillary Clinton and interfere in the 2016 elections. That was a Ukrainian court decision. We know the whistleblower, well, used to work with that Ukrainian individual we talked about, but there's more. In Sperry's claims, he says this individual hated Trump, was not shy about sharing those opinions. In fact, according to this Real Clear report, he was previously accused of leaking information to damage President Trump. Does he have an agenda? It's obvious all indications now point to a possibility, a maybe likelihood, of another deep state political hit job. We need to get to the bottom of what we know, though. And what we know is, what was the contact with the corrupt and compromised congenital liar Adam Schiff's office? What was the relationship with Joe Biden and any of the other candidates? What's the relationship with Brennan? He used to be his boss. No wonder Schiff refused to call this guy. Oh, we don't need to talk to him anymore, because he knows Republicans would ask those questions. The reports are true tonight. It's even worse than what we do know. In other words, we know he's not a real whistleblower. We know he's anti-Trump, a deep state bureaucrat. We know he's a hearsay whistleblower. Okay, he's doing this because he hates Donald Trump, and he thinks he knows better than we, the American people. So it's time for the corrupt, compromised, cowardly Adam Schiff, the congenital liar, and his allies to come clean. Republicans must now demand that. And that is the subject of our monologue tonight. It is clear tonight in America that the Democratic Party and the media mob and the deep state, they have been and continue to work hand in hand. They want to fundamentally destroy the very foundation of this great democratic republic. That is now indisputable at this point. After a top-secret trial with no due process, flagrant witness tampering, predetermined outcome, spurred by an apparent partisan deep state operative masquerading as a whistleblower, we know that Speaker in name only, Nancy Pelosi, is now asking her fellow members of Congress to rush through and authenticate this secret Soviet-style impeachment coup attempt. You have House members will now have to decide whether or not the corrupt, compromised, congenital liar Adam Schiff will get a green light to take his top-secret witch hunt public. Most lawmakers have not been allowed to attend the closed-door hearings, even view evidence, even review transcripts. Yet they'll now be asked to authenticate a phony closed-door process that they know very little about. Essentially, it is a vote. Be very clear, this vote tomorrow, this vote will be a vote for a process that is run by Adam Schiff. That guy is the single most corrupt, the biggest liar in Washington, D.C., in that sewer swamp, which says a lot. That guy spent 2+ years right there blatantly lying in public on TV, saying he has all the evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. You might remember some of these lies because we had 4 separate investigations, the FBI investigation, House Intel investigation, bipartisan Senate investigation, and the Mueller report that contradict what he was telling us. Take a look.
There is already, in my view, ample evidence in the public domain on the issue of collusion. If you're willing to see it, if you want to blind yourself, then you can look the other way.
I could certainly say with confidence that there is significant evidence of collusion between the campaign and Russia.
I've been very clear over the last year and a half, that there is ample evidence of collusion in plain sight.
No evidence in clear sight. That's why he's a congenital liar. Those lies didn't stop there. This is the guy who completely fabricated the transcript. He had to make it up of the president's phone call with the president of Ukraine in an official White House hearing. That's the guy who lied once again on TV about not having contact with the hearsay whistleblower. And by the way, he is the guy who's been tampering with virtually every witness brought before his secret Soviet-style impeachment coup attempt inquiry. Take a look.
I have never in my life seen anything like what happened today. I mean, they've been bad in most of these depositions, but to interrupt us continually, to coach the witness, to decide whether or not what we're going to be able to ask the witness. I mean, we don't even get any witnesses at this point, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any ever. But to not let us ask questions, I've never ever had that. And to see someone coach a witness, and, this isn't the first time that Schiff's very good at coaching witnesses. Remember, he also met with the whistleblower. So this is just unprecedented.
Now, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, your goal, if you're talking about impeaching a president, needs to be to find the truth, to have due process. You don't shut down a witness. You don't coach a witness. You don't stop a witness from answering a question because you don't like the question. In fact, if you have any fidelity at all to objective truth, common sense, reason, justice, the constitutional process, you must implement due process in any trial or investigation. Now, that's why past impeachment proceedings ensured, for example, Newt Gingrich guaranteed Bill Clinton. And the Democrats, well, they guaranteed Richard Nixon that they were not stripped of their fundamental rights. That is now happening here. But now the latest resolution does the exact opposite. And that's the one that will be voted on by the Democrats tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to watch. It would grant, yes, the congenital liar, the compromised, corrupt Adam Schiff and his fellow Democrats the power to veto any witness, any evidence, any procedure. They basically can do anything they want. There's no due process. Is there any fair-minded Democratic congresspeople out there tonight? When you put your hand on the Bible and you swear to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States of America, is this what you had in mind? Is this what due process looks like to you? Is this really the best way to get to the truth? And at the end of the day, if you decide to sacrifice American ideals, principles, constitutional order, you will be creating a dangerous precedent. And what are you gaining? Well, we actually have one honest Democrat from New Jersey who plans to vote against the witch hunt tomorrow, summed it up perfectly to CBS News from New Jersey. And obviously, he says he's going to be impeached and it will go to the Senate. And I believe in the Senate, he will be, meaning the president, vindicated. And that's Congressman Van Drews from New Jersey. And he also says, quote, I also think we spent a lot of money and a lot of time and haven't been able to get a whole lot of things done. Van Drew is one of maybe 5 Democrats so far who are not supporting this corrupt impeachment, lacking due process resolution. That would include Anthony Brindisi from New York, Jared Goldman, Maine, Kendra Horn, Oklahoma, Colin Peterson from Minnesota. What do they all have in common? They all represent districts won by Donald Trump in 2016, and they're not alone. There are 31 lawmakers that represent purple-red districts carried by the president. Well, these lawmakers right there, will they vote to override the will of their constituents based on a one-sided secret trial run by, well, a compromised, corrupt, congenital liar by the name of Adam Schiff? Because sadly, at least one of the people on this list, New York Congressman Max Rose, is ready right now to impeach President Trump. And he believes the president is guilty until proven innocent, telling the new magazine, quote, the president says he's innocent, so all we're saying is prove it. Oh, I didn't know it worked that way. Is that what you really believe, Congressman Rose? You believe that? Guilty until proven innocent. This is why Republicans, Kevin McCarthy, House Majority Leader, says they will take back the House in 2020. And as Leader McCarthy pointed out, the GOP, they only need 19 seats to win that majority and end Pelosi's